Hey guys, it's Jessie Katt. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about transportation in Toronto. Now the reason I wanted to talk about transportation in Toronto and the GTA is pretty much I had a few people who asked me over a few months regarding transportation, and what happened is I always answered the questions, but then I thought about it and I'm just like, why don't I just do a video? So here I am. Now I like when people come to me and ask questions and I realize they already know the answer. I like that. Mwah, I love it, because I mean that you're doing your research and you're really interested and want to know the information about where you're moving to. So I always love that when I answer someone and they're just like, yeah, I saw that, or yeah, I read that, and da 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 da. I love it. Now let me tell you the backstory about me and when I moved here. So I moved here in around September 2015. Yeah, I was not a student, even though I moved in September, but I moved here in September. What happened now is I moved here without any vehicle. I mean, well, obviously I didn't move with a vehicle, but I came here without being able to have access to a vehicle. So I had to use public transportation. Jamaica had a car for years and years and years, and so I had to now get used to doing public transportation. So when I moved to Canada, I moved to Scarborough. Now Scarborough, if you're not familiar, is about 30 minutes drive from the airport, I think. Because I think it's like 30 minutes drive from the airport, and about, depending on where in Scarborough you live, about 20 minutes to get to downtown. I think that's how it is. Not really too sure, but I think that's how it is. No, and that is by car. Now by bus might be a little different. Now the public transportation I was taking was the TTC. TTC is the Toronto Transit Commission. Now we don't call it the Toronto Transit Commission, we just call it the TTC. So if you come to Toronto and everybody's talking to you and they say, oh, the TTC, the TTC, the TTC, you know exactly what the TTC is. The TTC is a bus, it is a train, the subway, and it is the streetcars. And it might be something else, I don't know. But the bus, the train, subway, and the streetcar. Now I got familiar with the bus. So one thing is always great is when you move to a new place, it's always great to just get on a bus and get familiar with your surroundings in the area, because I kid you not, once I started driving, because I knew all the major stops and all the places that you normally can go to, I knew how to get to my house, I knew how to do this, I knew how to do that, because I was so familiar with the bus route and all these things. For an adult, bus fare should be $3.25. But if you use a Presto card, it'll be $3. So you can save a little buckaroos if you get a Presto card. And I would suggest, especially if you're going to be here for long term, I still have a Presto card and I've been driving for a few years now. So it's always good for you to have your Presto card, because sometimes when I want to go downtown, I don't want to pay extra $25. I want to use my Presto card and I can just jump on this and then jump on that, and then I'm good. And then you don't have to worry about money. The best part about having a Presto card is that you can use the Presto card in different cities. Now, when I say different cities, the TTC is just for Toronto. So I was looking for the student fare and I didn't see anything with regards to student fare. So I don't know if things has changed in recent years. I know that we used to use the Metro card, but we no longer use the Metro card anymore. They decided to change everything to Presto so that we have Presto all across the board. So unfortunately I wasn't finding anything for students, so I don't know. But for adults, like I said, it's $3.25. For seniors, which is 65 plus, it's $2.30. And it's the same for students or youth, which is $13 it's age 13 to age 19. And then for children under 12, it's free. So I know a lot of people try to pass off them picnic as under 12. It's hilarious when you see some big grown picnic have beard. And I try to put them off as under 12, like, come on. So one thing I wish somebody did tell me when I did just move is that once you use your card, you have up to 2 hours. You have up to 2 hours to use this card. So you can take up to 10 bus as long as it's within the 2 hours. So imagine you come from Papine, or you want to go Portmore. And because it's in the same 2 hours at the same fare, at the same 325, I like it. And the greatest thing, you know, so suppose you want to go shopping, right? And you know what you want to buy, and you can get it within 2 hours. So what you do now is you're going to bus, and you do your little pip, 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 and you go to the bus. You sit down, you reach your destination, you go do your little shopping, and say it's like an hour and 20 minutes. You're good, you're gravy. All you have to do is go back to the bus stop, go on the bus, you bus the thing again. It won't charge you because you're within the 2 hours. That's how good the cards are. Now a really fun thing is, because you're new to the city and you're going to ride the subway for the first time. For me it was exciting, but the subway in Toronto compared to New York, when you go to New York subway, you don't want to touch nothing. The way the place is just crummy. But when you go to Toronto subways, they're so clean. It's crazy. It's so clean. I mean, no offense to the people who live in New York, but I'm pretty sure they know that the subway not clean. Now, there are 4 lines in Toronto subway. So you have the yellow line, you have the green line, you have the blue line, and you have the purple line. So because I moved to Scarborough, I got familiar with the blue line. It's a really short line, but from where I lived, it was where I would go on. So just like the bus with the subway, you have to look at 2 hours and you can do whatever you want to do. One cool thing though is there are some lines that enter right into a mall. That's just awesome. The train line goes into the mall. I like it. Now there's another train. It's called the GO. So the GO is a bit different. So it's not the TTC, but like I said, they use the Presto card across the board now. So you use a Presto card on the GO and on the TTC. Now the GO line is a bit different because it goes, the major one goes across the coastline. So the train line goes across the lake. So the lake really separates New York from Ontario. And that's how you would see Niagara Falls. Where you go to Niagara Falls, there's a New York side and there's a Toronto side. Just to give you guys a little, you know, visual of what I'm talking about. So now the GO is excellent if you live far but you work in the city and you don't want to drive. So say you live in Burlington. Burlington is a few cities from Toronto. And you need to get to work every morning but you don't want to drive. And that's the thing, you know, there's so many people who don't live in the GTA that work in the GTA. It's crazy sometimes because that's a whole heap of driving. But the GO is good for that. Now what is really important, a lot of us learned the hard way, you have to click on and click off. If you don't click off, then your card is just going to automatically believe that you went to the end of the line. Now if you're in a GTA, you no longer have the train but you have buses, and the buses try to come every 5 minutes except for Sunday. On a Sunday the buses may come every 15 to 20 minutes, but during the week the buses I think generally come every 5 minutes. Now if you're in Mississauga, the bus transit is called My Way. If you're in Brampton, it's called Zoom. If you're in New York region, it's called YRT. If you're in Durham region, it's called DRT. There are others, so you know you can always just go ahead and look. But push come to shove, you can always just go on Google Maps. The Google Maps is also correct. So if you go on Google Maps and say, okay, I want to go to so and so, or I want to go here, you put in the address, you click it, and you indicate that you're taking the bus, because you indicate that you can take the bus, you can take the train, no, not train. You can take the bus, you can take a car, or you can walk. Alright, so here we go. So say you want to travel across the city, right? So like I said, I was living in Scarborough and I wanted to get to Mississauga. Now if I put in the Google to say I want to get to Mississauga, it's going to give me a combination. It's going to give me, alright, I'm going to take the bus, then the train, then the bus again. Alright, so what happened is all of that from Scarborough, my destination where I was coming from, to Mississauga, to the destination I was going, in total the transportation time was 2 hours. About 2 hours and something. 2 hours and something. And that is going across from Scarborough all the way to Mississauga. Now say I was driving, here's the kicker. If I was driving, that 2 hours and something will go down to 30 to 45 minutes depending on the traffic. That's ridiculous how much time is cut down if you're driving. I worked at one location and I had to get to that location. So before I got my car, I took the bus. Now, with the bus, it took me an hour to get to work. It took me an hour to get to work. Then I got my car. It only took me 20 minutes to get to work. And I don't know why the transportation is like that. It's a good transportation because you can always get transportation. The only problem is it takes forever. Right? You get into your destination, and the thing about it, is if you're traveling that much, you get used to it. It might sound a lot, but you get used to it. So I was making that Mississauga to Scarborough trip constantly, and eventually I got used to it. Eventually it became like nothing. But at first, just a thought, because you're coming from Kingston, Jamaica, and you know everywhere you go just take under 30 minutes. I mean, well, if no traffic not day. Guess what now? Where you live, you may not be able to control where you live to where you're going to school or where you're going to work. So you have to get that mind frame in your head that you may have to travel 2 hours to get to where you are going. So if you live downtown Toronto, you know, a car might not be the best thing because downtown Toronto is so expensive and you have to pay for parking everywhere. Downtown Toronto is probably not the best thing when it comes to a car, but if you live in a GTA, it's pretty awesome. Now, have I covered everything in terms of transit? I mean, I don't really have to cover bicycle. Have I covered everything? Yeah, I covered everything. So I covered the bus, the fare, how much it costs. I covered the train, pretty much. Covered the go. Letting you know about the transit. I mean, the other transit in other cities. The Presto card, very important. The Presto card, again, you can use in all cities. So once you move here, just get a Presto card. So just look up any terminal closest to you, bus terminal, subway terminal, anyone. You go there and you can get your Presto card. And then you can just top up on your phone all the time. Again, if I left out anything, please let me know. I always want to make sure that you guys are good when it comes to deciding to move. You know, you want to know and have all your ducks in a row, and this is a big important part of it. So make sure to go ahead and subscribe, comment below, ask your questions if you need to. Let me know if there's anything else, like anything else in detail that you want me to talk about. I will definitely do that. Comment below, share, like, again, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.